I mean,
Please.
okay, waiting for the invitation isn't bullshit. It can be misinterpreted to mean just like don't do anything until somebody calls you up and invites you to do something. It's like it's not really it's not, and it doesn't apply to everything you do either. But it is true to a certain extent. I mean, you said you're going to be talking to a projector soon, and that's who I'd want to see you talk to about this. But my commentary on that is that it's the invitation is like it's synonymous with recognition.
Mm.
Like it has to do with being like legitimately recognized for your specific projected um talents. Like your when you have a projected channel, um that life force, that theme of that channel is like one of your gifts basically, that or any channel. But with a projected channel, it's like if you go out there and try to force that on people, it just doesn't work out as well as if you're like, you know, put yourself out there, make yourself available, like, and then like when there will be like an energetic flow of life that like brings these for the big important things, like these invitations that are like make you feel like somebody actually sees you, and those are the things that are like the real forceful like things that put the forceful things, the things that like put you
The
on your
powerful.
path.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean, instead of like like the channel of the alpha, the 731, like is a leadership channel, and it's called the channel of the alpha, and it's like it's the channel of the literal, like it has to do with like you could use the image of like a political leader that's elected,
Mm.
but it's like the 515 channel is kind of like the one that like brings the 731 into their flow, and then like you know nominates that person, and the 731 gets recognized for their leadership qualities, and then gets you know invited to be a leader,
Yeah.
instead of like walking into a situation and being like, I'm taking over and I'm the leader and I'm the one that's gonna and that is just like the uninvited version of that frequency. um it just doesn't contribute to
Mm.
the actual flow of life.
Yeah. Yeah. What I like about learning about the more in depth of all of this too is it shows that like we can easily look with judgment on ourselves or anyone else and the roles that we all play, like that, like you mentioned the alpha. We can easily be like, write that off. Toxic masculinity, we file it over here. But in the Maya that we're all living in this grand illusion, you need all players of the game, whether you like it or not. And they're all going to exist, whether you prefer it or don't prefer it. And those preferences are just showing you, like what you're saying, who you are and who interacts with you for your own development and incarnation. Sometimes that is friction and it's busting things off of you, or sometimes it's just like you are functioning with the wrong people that are there. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just embodying their design,
Yeah, exactly. That's
and they're
Yeah.
necessary, not for you.
And there's literally like a gate of friction, there's a cross of tension. There's a gate called terminal. There's a line of one of the gates is terminal disease.
Mm,
And one of them is corruption, and that could be like your personality son. Like that could be like your 70% of who you are is like this. And Ra would call it word prejudice. He loved to go on these rants about how like people just they hear these words and they have these prejudice about what it means. Like you know it's not what you think, but
yeah.
yes, it's like we need the both sides of everything. And even within that you know, that channel of the alpha, it's like there's a not to everything too. So it's like it it's that energy, but there's a opposite potential of that also, like a some people call it the shadow frequency, but other people it's not even that. It's just it's the theme.
Mm,
These things are themes that, you know, have different qualities to them or
yeah.
quantities to them or
And
whatever.
from my understanding too, like your aura, like mine's projector, and then on whenever you get your chart, like the personality is on the right side, and there's that top gate. So like mine's 44.4, right? So mine's gate 44. It's how that aura, for lack of a better term, lights up that gate. It gives that gate its tone, if you will, right? Would that be accurate to say? Because like not only projectors have gate 44, right? So like how gate
Correct.
44 looks and shows up in the world is going to be filtered through the aura of projector or manifesting generator or whatever. Is that, you think that would be accurate to
Sure.
say? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because like I think sometimes we don't know how to see, like again we get so dogmatic about how these gates show up. So like for instance, you mentioned the alpha gate. That gate, if someone is a manifester, is going to eh, come into an aura, right? It's going to enlighten in the world in a different tone than it would be a generator, you know? But it's still that gate that's being highlighted in the being. It just shows up differently.
Yep.
That be accurate?
Yes. Yeah. And I mean, it's not just those two things. I mean, there's like the deeper you go into it, there's just more, like I said, keynotes,
Mm-hmm.
just more, you can tell a bigger story based on the lines and the, um, you know, the type and the circuitry and the everything about it. Like there's all these ways of specifying that. That's why, like, it, you know, the human design is called the science of differentiation.
Mm-hmm.
It's what that's what it is. It's like it just like shows like how everybody is uniquely different.
Yeah.
You know, there's it's anti homogenization. It's all about being yourself and how everybody has the right to express their true self. Like
Yeah.
um and yeah, so if you live as your type, like the most basic thing is just live as a projector. You're a projector. Like live, be a projector, and then it's ooh, excuse me, it's just going to put you on this path where, you know, but it's that's how, without those that theme there, it doesn't really matter about these gates and these lines and all these different
Mm-hmm.
notes. It's like it has to be, you have to not be pretending to be something else. You're not trying to be a manifester or not, you know, trying to live in response because that's what you see everybody, all the generators doing, you know.
That's been a hard one for me, man.